You've heard the idiom, keeping up with the Joneses? If your neighbors, the Jones family, gets a new white picket fence, in order to keep up appearances, you need to get a new, nice-looking fence. I've been in different circles where different things are prized. And, just like competing neighbors, circles of people struggle to keep up with each other. Quick disclaimer, this part may be my imagination. One thing I've noticed about weight and the size of people is the geographic location. A lot of cities have wealthier sections. Whenever I make it over to the wealthier side of things, one thing I notice is that people seem slimmer. They're also better dressed. The price tag on their clothing is about 100 times more than what I want to pay. If I bought expensive clothes, would my extra pounds just magically shrink away? The answer is yes. Sorry, no. Of course, keeping up with the Joneses means acquiring finer things. There's a competition of sorts which you can recognize in all groups. I wonder if this universal competition affects the diet of different people. Does the spirit of competition somehow relate to physical fitness? Could it be argued fashion and the desire to obtain fashionable things can sometimes translate into a type of competition? Sometimes, not always. Perhaps it has the potential for it. It makes sense to me when people choose something. Maybe it's something they're good at, and they scale the heights, and they talk proudly about their accomplishments in that arena. People who like them say, good, good, good for you, and they themselves mention any accomplishments of their own in that field. Or if that person doesn't like them, they'll say things to topple that person's tower in some way. I wonder if people look around and if they see everyone else around them has a certain level of athleticism, they too will follow suit. I met up with some friends I hadn't seen for a long time, and we were not the same shape. I had really let myself go. That's something I considered when endeavoring to diet. When I planned to meet up with them in 6 months, I planned to look a little bit better. See, normally I don't care how I look at all. But then this was something that I gave some thought to. But still, I don't want to admit that it was important to me. Hey, I don't care what other people think, but then I think we all know that I'm a terrible liar. That's why I don't lie. It has a little bit to do with the moral questions concerning deception, but the biggest reason that I don't lie is because I'm terrible at it. George Washington said, "I cannot tell a lie. I chop down the cherry tree." I say something similar to that. I can't seem to tell a lie, or at least I can't effectively tell a lie. So I might as well just tell you right now that I chopped down the cherry tree, because you're going to figure it out anyway. Maybe I will admit I care a little bit about what people think, and even though a big concern of mine is trying to get along with people, I perhaps have a little spark of competition. For a lot of things in this world, things like words, tools, devices, concepts, and ideas, there's an inanimate quality about them. They're not inherently good or bad, but rather they're used in a good way or a bad way. And the concepts of good or bad start to lose form when you consider the idea that the concept of good or bad seems to change depending on who you talk to and when you talk to them. The prospect of waking up before dawn and leaving the house to go jogging in frosty weather, some people would see this as good or not. It depends on who you are and who you talk to. A touch of competition is the same way. There's a potential for good. It inspires people to push themselves to do something a little bit better and walk away from a competition a little bit prouder and shake hands with the people they were competing against, thanking them for coming out and participating in the challenge and offering them a ride to the next competition. To me, that seems like a good use of competition. There's also questionable uses for competition. Imagine two people each had a pet rock and one person says, "Look at my pet rock. I really like it." The other person can go on to say, "My pet rock is far superior to your pet rock. Mine is composed of solid marble and it was very expensive. May I ask you how much you paid for your pet rock?" You can see how it's important to possess a very nice pet rock, but it's equally important, possibly more important, to make the other person understand that they should extinguish any pride or happiness they have in their own pet rock. And if there's no pet rocks around, they'll just look for something else to needle others with. They want a little competition, and their thoughts are sharper and they feel powerful and sometimes superior. When you get to know different people, you start to understand how their minds work, and you can predict the thoughts that they'll have, what impulses they'll have. The penchant for competition can have its advantages, but it can also have its liabilities. When it comes to the insatiable drive to constantly be better than everyone else as far as how you look, how you dress, how much money you make, how much ass you can kick, or how popular you are. These impulses can ruin your life and the lives of those around you. From my perspective, yeah, I got a few extra pounds, and I'm not a real snappy dresser. There's a long list of things in which I don't excel, but I don't let it get to me, and I don't bother other people with their shortcomings. And I'm happy. And I think people are happy when I'm around. Weight loss is good, but it ain't everything. It's a little bit self-defeating when you look good on the outside, but you're a horrible person on the inside.